Hey guys, welcome you all in T3P Technology to the Point. In this quick video, I am going to show you how you can create Azure virtual machine quickly. Not only you will able to create, but also able to access that machine, and what action you can perform, that we will see. While on creating the machine, we will also understand what are the components that we need to keep in mind. So it will help us to understand what are the actual parameters we need to think about. So you can use this machine for your testing purpose, development purpose. Even you can use the same approach for your production environment. So it will give you the hands-on experience how you can create virtual machine in Azure quickly. So let's start with the how you can start if you don't have the Azure account. So create your account in Azure. First you need to understand you need a Microsoft account. Okay, that can be your outlook.com or outlook.in or any Hotmail account you can use it. Just think that it should be Microsoft associated account. Okay, so for free account, how you can create in Azure, you need to search for Microsoft Azure free account. Once we will search it, then on the first page, first link will come with this one, and on this page you will see what are the services you are getting. So there are many services you will get it for the 12 months. There are few services you will get it for always free, and there are you will also get the Azure credit that you can use for your experiment purpose. Like you can use the premium services and then you can utilize this. You will get $200, that is for 30 days. If you belongs to India, then it will be converted to INR around 15,000 some amount. Okay, so these are the services. If you want to learn what are the services, you will get it. You will get the virtual machine. So that is the one we are going to create, and there are many services. Okay, so we will see in production environment what are the services you are getting. Okay, so from here you need to start, and once you will click on this one, it will ask for Azure account. Okay, so Microsoft account, if you don't have one, just create it and access it. Okay, it will ask for your credit card details, so and it will charge you 2 rupees something, and but it will be refundable. It is just for authorization purpose. So this is what we need to follow for creating Microsoft account and Microsoft Azure account. Once you have done, then we will reach on this page. So in this page it will say your name. I'll hide it, and here you will see the details. This detail is confidential, so you need to avoid showing it. Okay, and here you can see the remaining credits you are having, and what are the free services. You can see it on the portal, the web page which we see. That is just for a theoretical purpose, but in actual in the environment, this is from the Microsoft Azure account. Okay, so from the Azure portal you can see these are the services you will get it. These are the size of the VM, and we are having the same capacity, means same timing, like 750 hours. These are enough for experiment purpose, and I'm pretty much sure you can't spend whole credit $200 in 30 days. So I'm pretty much sure. So I have done so many experiment with the virtual machine, so I'm going to show you so how you need to create it. In the left hand side you can see the option. Here you have the option for creating a resource, or even you can directly go to the other services. Okay, so whatever you want. So we want to create virtual machine, either we can go through from this one or we can go through the virtual machine section. Once we will create, here you can see there is no machine created at this point of time. So I am going to create one machine for me, and how I'll create it, you can follow this step by step, and then we will change the size of the machine in terms of CPU and RAM, and also we'll change the disk partition, means disk type. Okay, so let's see one by one what we will get. So we have two options, either we can create it from here or we can create it from here. Once we will create, click on this one, it will ask me Azure virtual machine we want to create, or we want to create with some preset configuration, or we can use machine learning skill set. So simple, we want to create only the Azure virtual machines. Once we will create, click on this one, this form will come into picture. Then here you can see right now I'm on the free trial. Once you will upgrade your account from here, you will be pay as you go model. Okay, then we are not touching that one. Here first thing we need a resource group where our machine will be associated. Like this resource group is nothing like a folder which we create to segregate our resources. If you are means you are from the development team, then you can make a resource group for development. If you are networking team, then you can based on this one, or you can use it as per your location as well. It's all depend on you. Either you can create new one, or there is an option you can leave it blank, so accordingly whatever name you are going to give it, it will come into this. For this one we are going to do tech demo. Okay, so accordingly your name will come for the resource group. Similarly, which location you want to choose for your machine. If you want to create it in US, you can choose this location. Asia Pacific, Europe, there are all the locations available. So let's create one machine in US region. Next thing, availability zone. Okay, so here we need to choose availability zone. Here in a single availability zone we are having means in a single region we are having multiple zones. So here we are having the option like either you want to create only in single zone or multiple zone. If you choose here, see, you can write, you can see here, you can now select multiple zones. Selecting multiple zones will create 1 VM per zone. So if you want to keep the machine like in 2 different regions, then you can create 2 machines just by selecting this one, or you can choose different. It's all depend on you. Right now we are just doing for the testing purpose, but for production we always keep in mind that we should have the redundancy in terms of machines. Yes, security type we are using trusted launch. We are not using standard. We are mainly what we are focusing here, we are using the default settings what it is giving. Here it is selected Ubuntu. Let's take the Windows Server 2022 data center, so you will have the exposure of the new Windows edition in terms of server. Okay, here we can use Azure spot discount. We don't want to use this one. And here see, it is showing in the free services eligible only this size is available, 1 CPU and 1 gig of RAM. But what is my understanding with the production environment, it's not compatible, means not feasible. We are not able to work on this configuration, right? It is very small size, but for the just creating and accessing it, it's fine. But here what I'm going to choose, I'm going to choose this one by default. Let's create it, then we can resize it. Okay, that's fine. Otherwise directly you can go to different size you can choose, or here you can see there are many sizes available. Whatever want you can choose it. Right now we are on this one. Let's create with 2 CPU and 4 gigs of RAM. That is sufficient for testing purpose. Okay, so I'm choosing this one. And from here if you want to choose, you need to click on already selected this one, yeah, this one, and here you need to select. Either way you can do it. Let's take tech demo user account. I'm giving the same name as my machine name, and then I need to put password for this one. I'm putting some password that will help me to access this virtual machines. Now here what type of ports or inbound connection you want. Right now I just want to have access to the internet as well, so allow selected ports. 3389 I'm using because I want to access this machine through RDP, and this is the port for RDP. Next, either I can click on review and create, or I can go with the 1 by 1 option. Right now it is on basics, then it will check for disk, networking, management, whatever you want to configure you can go. But whenever you need to see, when we are creating one virtual machine, we need a IP address, we need a network, we need a resource group. Resource group we have already created, right? That we will see at the time of creation. Okay, so let's review it, review and create, but it will not work here. It will give some pop-up, some error kind of. Okay, then what happened, we need to select some networking in this. Okay, this time it worked, that's good. Otherwise what happened, normally we need to go here. Right now normally it is not associated, but once we will click here in disk and management, once we will come on this networking section, it will populate at that point of time. So might be last time when I did it, review and create, it showed me some error, but this time it worked. That's absolutely fine. So our public IP will be tech demo IP, and we got some private subnet here, but here our means our connection through from the internet, so it will be allowed selected port. Okay, so now we are going to create it. Okay, now let's go to the last page. Once you can change other part all as well. So here you can see our size of the machine, and the per hour we need to pay 3 rupees per hour. This, just keep in mind, it is just for the virtual machine, not for the storage it is using. If you see here in the disk section, here over disk side it is using premium SSD. We are having different options like standard SSD. Here you can see the information related to this. You can use HDD as well, so it is less costly, but here we are just using the credits which is provided by Microsoft Azure. So we are using premium SSD. It is super fast. Now we are going to create it. So I'm just showing you what are the options we are having. Let's create it now, and now we will see what are the component it creates before launching actual virtual machines. Okay, right now you can see in the right hand side it is showing submitting deployment, and in a few seconds it will start. Yes, now it is starting. It is showing your subscription detail, it is showing your resource group, and it is showing your correlation ID and the start time of this machine. Now you can see here deployment is in process, and you can see now before launching the actual virtual machine it created these all things. It created the network security group, it created the public IP for the machine, it created the virtual network for the machine. If you have already, then you can use it. And after that it created this one, network interface card, that is associated with your VM, where this IP will be assigned. Now it is creating the virtual machines. If you see here, deployment is process, your credit is also showing here, and you just need to wait for few seconds and then it will be created. Once it is done, then we will be able to access that particular machine. So I'll show you what are the options we are having to access this machine. Let's wait for a few more seconds. Till then we can go to the virtual machine sections. Here you can go. Once you will, it is showing, it is status is showing creating. Here you can see the size, here you can see the public IP of this machine that will be needed to access this machine. Now we got the notification, it's success. Here it is showing creating. Just once you will refresh it, it will be in a status of running. So it is created, and now it is need to be started. Now you can see the status is running. That means now we can access this machine. That's fine. Now let's access this machine. First we will access this machine, then we will change the size, and then we will see again. So when we will click on create connect, we are having different options to access. Right now we are using RDP connection. So here it is checking something, but nothing to worry. Here you will see the option of download RDP file. Once you will click on this one, in once less than 1 second it is downloaded file. Just you will click on this one, it will show you, it will prompt you for username and password. You just need to give that username and password which you mentioned at the time of creation, and you need to provide the username and password you gave. Once you will provide it and click on OK, you need to just mention, it will not ask, it is just checking the certificates as you are accessing this machine. Log into the machine, you will see this screen, your server manager is logged, where you can means install few roles if you want, like DHCP, DNS role you want from the Windows machine, or file server role. It's all depend on you. I just wanted to show you it is having the internet connectivity or not, so how you will get to know, right? So let's move, let me close it. Right now we just use the minimum configuration which is required to work. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to access this Microsoft Edge browser, and we can see let's do it without syncing. Let's do it technology to the point.com. Hey, yes, it's working, right? So you can see it's working, accessible. You can access web pages as well. So this is how you can access the machine. Now we will see how we can change the size of this machine. So where you need to go? You need to go your Azure portal. So now we have seen how you can access your virtual machine, how you can create, you can change the size and everything. Once you will click on the machine, here you will see the option for the disk, where you can change the disk type. Okay, for that one you need to click on this one. After launching, I'm talking about, before we had the option, I have already shown you. Now after launching the machine, you can change the size as well. It's all depend your requirement. So once you will click on that particular OS disk, here you have the option for size and performance. Here you can see what size you are looking for the disk. Right now we have the 128 gigs of drive size, that is SSD premium. Here you can change the disk type. Okay, so here you can change the size and the type of the disk. Similarly, if you want to change the configuration in terms of CPU and RAM, then you can do it from here, the size. Okay, here right now we are on this one. So once you will click on this one, it will not give you option for resize in the down, but whenever you will change it, then you will get it. So if you are looking for higher memory, then you can choose for like 2 gigs, 2 CPU and 8 gigs of RAM. Here right now we are having 2 CPU and 4 gigs of RAM. It's all depend on your requirement. You can go it, and once you will click on this one and click on resizing, it will give you prompt here, resizing virtual machine. So in a few seconds it will look, see, whenever we are changing the size in a running machine, the machine will be rebooted. How we will see it? You can see here on the machine status. Right now it is showing in running status, but where you will lose the connection if you are having the RDP connection. Right now you are having, it is shutting down. You can see I just showed you. So it is shutting down, and then you will have, it will be rebooted, then you need to connect it again. So it is, so you can see here. So once you will the size is completed, resizing is completed, you will see the notification success, then you can access the machine. Similarly, I hope in this video so guys, in this video that's it. I hope you find this video helpful in terms of how you can create Azure virtual machine. Similarly, this is the method that you can use for other cloud platform as well, and it will help you to learn your hands-on, and you just got to know what are the component is required to create a virtual machine, like network security group, IP address, virtual network. You need a resource group, you need a virtual NIC, that is network interface card for this virtual machines from where, on which this IP is associated. You can change the size, you can change the other aspect as well. So I hope you find this video helpful. See you in next video, more learning resources. See you in next. Till then, happy learning.